Are you male or female? A true American or an immigrant? A good person or a shitty one? Let's explore. On his first day in office, President Donald Trump signed an executive order proclaiming that the United States will only recognize two sexes, male and female. A move that could have significant negative practical and psychological implications for intersex, trans, and non-binary folks. Now, there were a lot of people who were actually pleased with this executive order, including this guy who DM'd me last week. These kinds of comments feel hurtful and hateful, and I am so sorry to everyone who feels diminished, invisible, or worse, vulnerable as a result of them. It truly makes you wonder, why are so many people so passionate about restricting freedoms in the land of the free? But then I have to remember that thanks to conservative politics, most people have never experienced comprehensive sex ed. So I want to share something that I learned in my human sexuality class that helped me understand sex that I think might help you as well.
This video right here is sponsored by Squarespace, an all-in-one platform to build your dream website. With Squarespace, design is a breeze. Whether you're starting a passion project or starting a business, Squarespace empowers you to build an online presence that is stunning. Try it out yourself. Go to squarespace.com, start playing around for free, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/shanbooty to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Now enjoy the rest of this video.
So in this class, we learned about 8 variables to consider when assigning sex to someone. And through an understanding of these variables, we can see how variances in the binary aren't just plausible, they're also very normal and very human. First, you have chromosomal. Yes, you have XX and XY, but scientists have also discovered other variances. Number 2 is gonads, ovaries, testes, or ovotestes in some cases. Number 3 is prenatal hormonal levels. 4 is pre plus neonatal brain differentiation, the different ways that hormones can impact the ways that our brain develop and thus see the world. Number 5 is internal sex organs. For example, someone may have a vulva, but internally they may have testicles, or vice versa. On that note, let's talk about external genitalia appearance. Let's talk about ambiguous external genitalia. It might seem obvious, penis and vulva, but as we know, the clitoris and the penis are analogous. So sometimes people can have micropenises and others might have hanging clitorises in such a case. Number 7 is hormonal differentiation that occurs at puberty. For example, some people who were assigned male at birth develop breasts at puberty, and others who were assigned as female do not. Same thing when it comes to facial hair. And number 8 is assigned gender at birth versus individual gender identity as a result of all of these things, plus how you feel on the inside. So when you start to consider just these 8 ways that I was taught that sex can be established, you start to have empathy for people who only have 6 out of 8, maybe 4 out of 8, and why those individuals may not feel so aligned with the binary of male or female. And if this is not hitting for you because all 8 of these are completely congruent in your world, no stress. I have a comp. So I asked ChatGPT for a list of 8 variables to determine if someone was truly American, and here is what it generated. Number 1 is citizenship plus social security number. Self-explanatory, gotta make sure that we pay our taxes. Number 2 is participation in democracy. So I asked ChatGPT, what does that mean at bare minimum? And it said, bare minimum, know who represents you in Congress, which you of course do, right? Number 3 is acknowledgement of land. And by that, it meant acknowledging that this is stolen land from indigenous people and actively making that acknowledgement. Number 4 is engaging in community service, because I'm pretty sure that most of you work for free for the good of your community frequently. Number 5 is employment history and consumer habits. Do you work for an American-owned company and go out of your way to buy American? Number 6 is geographical awareness. Of course, most people know what the capital of Idaho is, duh. Number 7 is education plus work ethic. Are you an example of living out the American dream and taking advantage of the stellar American education system? And last but not least is American cultural participation. And I asked ChatGPT again, well, what does that mean? Well, it means being a sports fan, or at the very least, eating apple pie. Would love to know how many patriots definitively checked all 8 boxes. Would you like another comp? Me too, I was having a good time with this. So I asked ChatGPT for 8 variables to determine a good human. And here is what was generated. Supporting others with finite resources. To explain what that means, infinite resources are things like trust, goodwill, love, positivity. Finite resources are labor, time, and money. Next, you have, do you keep your word? Do you keep your commitment? So the people around you corroborate your statement there. Number 3 is, have you helped a stranger in the past month? 4, do you admit and apologize for your wrongs? 5, do you approach people with respect, curiosity, and a priority for their dignity? Number 6, are you noticeably invested in self-improvement? I love the shadiness of ChatGPT. Not just are you invested, are you noticeably invested in self-improvement? Number 7, we have, do you avoid gossip / negative commentary? Got me on that one. And last but not least, do you make those around you feel good about themselves? Now, some of you might be thinking, what is up with this 8-variable business? This is very simple. Either you have a penis or a vagina at conception. Well, first of all, people have already pointed out the irony of this line of thinking. But funny business aside, okay, so you want to use the appearance of external genitalia to assess sex at birth. So why don't we do the same thing for our good person list here and just choose one to assess against. So we're gonna cross everything out except this one. Do you approach all people with respect, curiosity, and a priority for their dignity? If you do, you're a good person. If you don't, sorry, you're shit. But Shan, I coach my niece's soccer team. I never gossip, and those in my in-group, I make them feel really good about themselves. And yes, all those things are good, but sadly, according to the collective synthesis of human knowledge and reasoning, you are not. But wait, of course that can't be correct. It is your rich, dynamic, human lived experience that determines how you choose to identify. Because yeah, we can't depend on you maybe to identify what city Mount Rushmore is in, but I do still trust that you have the intelligence, the agency, and that you deserve the freedom and dignity to tell me who you are and where you feel you belong.
What's up, everybody? Just popping in to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, Squarespace. It's literally the reason why we're able to still create content on this YouTube channel. Squarespace is more than just a website builder. It is literally your partner in creativity when you're building your online presence. This is the place to be. With design intelligence, it's literally like having a design team at your fingertips. You're going to be able to personalize and customize your website or any of your online presence to really truly reflect your brand. I mean, that's a win, especially with the amount of digital content that is going out there. To be able to personalize and customize your brand and your presence online is truly remarkable. And while we're at it, let's talk business. I mean, with Squarespace payments, it is the easiest way to manage your payments and, give your customers an option to pay with so many different ways. I mean, that is a must. I mean, nobody likes to get to the checkout and be confused. Do they need to see something familiar? They need to see something that has an option for them, especially if you're trying to sell things online. We build a lot of our websites on Squarespace. We are currently rebuilding my website. We're rebuilding the shared entertainment website. And Shan has a lot of stuff that she's rolling out soon. And all this is possible through Squarespace. So, are you ready to build your website on Squarespace? And if you are, go to squarespace.com, start playing around for free, and when you're ready to launch, go back to squarespace.com/shanbooty to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna regret it. Build that business that you're thinking about right now.